Hey there everybody, JHaubz here, how's it going? It's been a while since I've had any gaming content, eh? Where the heck have I been? And who is this guy? This isn't Ishii. I know. May I introduce Shandar River, my main character on Final Fantasy XIV. While Ishii's been starting off her adventure in Eorzea, Shandar has been on the front lines with me, saving worlds, slaying primals, and keeping the Empire at bay. I had him at a good stopping point before I started recording with Ishii, but the latest patch for Final Fantasy XIV came out I don't know how long ago now, but with it came the final stage of the legendary weapon stuff for Shadowbringers. This was going to be the first expansion in Shadowbringers where I was actually able to stay current with the legendary weapon progression, and I really wanted to try. So I had to put recording Ishii on hold and let Shandar do some fighting in the Bosjan front. But I got to thinking, is there anything I could record with Shandar? And like I did with Ishii, I started thinking about the gaming stuff my wife likes to watch. And believe it or not, she gets quite entertained by how I think about strategy in a game and how I find exploits or loopholes along the way. She calls it my Virgo magic because apparently that's my astral sign or something, I don't know. So I thought maybe I could do a guide for some of the stuff I'm doing in Bosja and maybe share a few shortcuts I figured out along the way. So babe, this video and title are for you. Welcome to Virgo Magic. So what are relic weapons in general? So in each patch that Final Fantasy XIV has had, there's been some like legendary weapon. It's more or less a Final Fantasy staple to have since at least 7, if not before that. I know in 5 they had the legendary weapons that you can unlock, but I think actually this expansion is kind of echoing those a little bit. But anyway, so each patch has had its own like legendary weapon that you have to go out and do a bunch of different, farming and dungeons and item gathering and all this kind of stuff to build up enough resources to augment this weapon to be like the most powerful one you have access to at the time. In Realm Reborn, you had the Zodiac weapons. Heavensward, they had Anima weapons. In Stormblood, they did Elemental Eureka weapons, and in this one, we're just doing the Blades of. Let's see if I can say it right. Gunhilder. So far, it's been pretty cool. This dungeon has by far taken the most time, though. Welcome to Delubrum Reginae, Latin for Sanctuary of the Queen, if the Final Fantasy Wiki page is correct. Up to this point, most of the items needed for each stage of the relic weapon have had 2 different options for ways to farm them, which has let me save time by choosing the faster method each time. Unfortunately, I did not have access to the other dungeon options for these last 2 stages, so therefore I needed to run Delubrum Reginae 30 times to get the required items to finish the 2 relic weapons I wanted to finish. If I was crazy and wanted to get all the relic weapons, well, there's 17 jobs. Need 30 special items for each, get approximately 1 item for each dungeon run you could do, you do the math. Yeah, 2 weapons are just fine for me. Anyway, onto this dungeon. Not going to show the entire fight for each boss, just maybe give a few highlights on mechanics that I liked and maybe share a few fun bits. So this first guy is Trinity Seeker. He has 3 different phases that he keeps rotating through, each of which he's actually using one of our relic weapons against us. He starts off in the Samurai class, only he gets 4 katanas instead of 1. Cheating. He has a lot of sweeping blade attacks in 4 directions, but luckily he broadcasts where he's going to strike before he does it, so he can dodge that. Is anybody going to point out that he has a huge shield on his butt? I mean, that's a big shield on his butt. Oh, he's got the 4 swords back out. Ah! But later in the fight, he also gets like these crotch-hatching ice strikes that you gotta dodge. It gets pretty crazy after a while. Then he swaps katanas for the pair of Dark Knight greatswords. This one he does a lot of spinning moves that you either have to hide behind something, or you have to get knocked back by them. By the way, the outer edge of the room is a kill zone. In fact, most of the fights down here have that, so don't get pushed back into the blue realm. Then the Seeker guy fancies himself a monk, so he puts the swords away and he decides to Kamehameha the group. And then a lot of AoE attacks that he does, he jumps around a lot, and then he actually does these AoEs that you have to watch the circles on the ground. You either have to get into the blue circles or the gray circles depending on how he's attacking. Pretty interesting. Oh, fun fact, the boss music you're hearing right now is actually like a special encounter you get in Final Fantasy XII. Oh, do I get to do mine? Yay! I'm gonna make such a big splash. Oh, don't jump out of it. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I hope it still hit you. Okay. And then in this one, everybody gets spoils. Yay! Alright, now through these hallways, we have to watch out for mines because people explode. Oh no, Omega! Well, like Omega just demonstrated, there are traps in the hallways, so watch your step. This whole dungeon's meant to kill you, like even more than usual. Because like on top of all the attacks that the AoE attacks that the bosses do, if you get hit by one, you also get a doom counter for a minute. And if you get stacks of that doom counter, it kills you right away. Like even if the hit doesn't kill you, the debuff kills you. So it becomes really important to dodge. So this next guy is Dahu. He's one of our first mini bosses down here. He looks friendly. Should we give him like treats? Do you think he likes treats? Oh crap, we're the treats, aren't we? Doesn't even really get the courtesy of his own boss music. So this guy's attacks are pretty standard for a giant lizard. He smashes to his sides. He does a feral howl that pushes the party back to the edge of the room, and then he tries to follow it up with a fire breath attack to kill you with it. But then he gets some help from these lion guys who dash around the room trying to hit as many party members as they can. And then he'll roar again, only this time it'll cause boulders to fall from the ceiling. And my favorite part about this guy is he goes eventually like, you know what, why not do all my AoEs at once? So have the lions, have the rocks falling, eventually he's gonna start smashing the ground. Oh my goodness, I can't even tell if I'm clear. Oh god, I can't tell. No, oh god, that's the right side. Oh god! And I was gonna do left. And of course remember, getting hit by any of these gives you a doom stack, so good luck! Okay, next comes the Queen's Guard. As this is the sanctuary of the Queen, naturally there would be some pawns to defend her. I guess for a minimal backstory, before the Empire occupied this specific area, Bosja was ruled by women that took the title of Queen Gunhilder. There's a character in this area that's trying to use the Bosjan Save the Queen relic blade in order to summon a primal version of this queen to enthrall our allies and use them to fight against us. So these guards are fighting us since technically we are here to kill the queen. Anyway, each one of these guards fights us on his own, and he has his own mechanic. None of them are really that difficult though, but they will come up later when we fight the queen, so we gotta remember how each one of them fights. Okay, this is the gunner. Now this is probably the most complicated mechanic, because he's gonna shoot at a turret, and that turret's gonna shoot at an additional turret, and you have to dodge all the shots. So he's gonna probably shoot to that one's gonna shoot here, and that one's just gonna shoot to the wall. Now he's going to do it again, only he's going to have 4 of them instead of 2 of them. And how do you know where to dodge? Well, basically, I just pretend that there's a square around him. Because you know he has to shoot to 2 corners, and you know that those corners have to shoot to 2 others. So you can basically have a square around the guy, and then you just look at the other 2 and avoid those, and that's all you got to really do. So get out of the square of the turrets, and then find the 2 that aren't being shot at first, and dodge those 2. That's it. Alright, up next we have the Soldier. This one's a bit of a coward. So he's going to do this double Gandit ability where he summons 4 of himself in the corners. He tethers to 2. And those are the only 2 that are actually going to attack. The other 2 are liars. They're going to put a big ring AoE around themselves. But they're lying. You're a lying liar who lies a lot. Son of a bitch. So they're going to do this whole thing again. Only this time they're going to hop around. Hop around. The trick here is to just keep an eye on one of the ones jumping around that you know isn't going to attack. And now he's over here. Right. Alright, so 2 are attacking, and 2 are not going to do anything. You know, like a liar. You fight with the strength of many men, Sir Knight. Alright, this guy is actually pretty simple. He's got a sword and a shield, and he does an omen attack with either or. So, when you see the sword circling him, back up and he'll do a circle AoE around himself. And if you see shield circling him, stack on top of him and dodge the donut AoE he does. Yep, that's pretty much it. And last one is the Warrior. He is the Warrior. But he imagines himself a little bit of a Bomberman. So he's going to summon big bombs, little bombs, and then throw them all up in the air. And we want to stack on the big bombs, because he's not strong enough to throw them as high as he's going to throw the rest of us. Whoa! Well, you can't really see anybody because we're all stacked, but ha! Okay, and we're fine. He'll eventually do it all again, only this time he'll tether to them. This basically switches the bomb, which bomb will go high and which one will stay low. Also, it looks kind of funny to me that all the characters wave their arms the same way when they're suspended in midair together. And their last gasp effort is essentially like, we're going to stand here and shield while we charge up all our AoEs to hit you at once. Except, they don't really shield. Like, we're just going to stand here and beat on them. They will eventually have a coat of arms reflection that we can't hit, but we just stand to the front or back when they're guarding the side, and it's over. And then they're like, oh shoot, we've been defeated. Fall back, the queen cannot be left unguarded. Alrighty. Next we got another poor musicless mini-boss. This guy is the Bosgen Phantom. He doesn't waste much time before he starts attacking you with his Shadow Realm powers. More like Purple Realm. Silence! I'm just saying. The shapes in the Purple Realm signal which spell is going to attack across the room. Squares don't leave any safe area, so you just have to bail out of the way. The circle ones attack gradually with donut AoEs that follow down this line of small circles. So you basically just gotta be ready to run! Running! Wah! Wah! Oh god! One more! One more again! Okay, attack! Alright, now he's gonna summon a guy. And other than looking like one of those ghost sprites from the Phantom Train, he's also going to try to push us into the Purple Realm. But we are going to not go that far. Whoa! Oh god! Vile Wave! All he really does after this is combine his attacks, so you just gotta deal with the runaway Purple Realm donuts along with Ghost Pushback. But this Banished ability that you can get in Bosja doubles the damage that undead targets take, so most of the time this dude doesn't live that long. Anyway, on to the next one. Okay, the next boss here is Trinity Avowed. Like our previous Trinity Seeker friend that we met at the beginning of this dungeon, this boss has 3 distinct phases based on the 3 Gunhilder Blade weapons that she uses. But she has this interesting hot-cold mechanic that kind of overarches all the three phases. So let's start with that one first. So during each phase, she casts this hot-cold ability. This will put varying stacks of fire or ice on each member of the ring. If you have this debuff after a certain allotted time, you instantly die. But don't worry, you can remove this debuff by finding an attack of the opposite element and getting hit by it. Yup, in order to remove a debuff that will definitely kill you, you have to get hit by an attack that will only almost kill you. So good luck if your group doesn't come in here with a healer or two, because you're gonna die. Anyway, she'll do this hot-cold ability during each of her weapon phases, and let's see how they play out. Okay, now to backtrack a pinch. So each weapon phase starts off with an Allegrant Arsenal, where she draws a new weapon and uses it to cast a big AoE attack. Here she pulled out a Black Mage Staff and cast a big circle AoE with it. Then here's what the hot and cold cast looks like. And then to end the Mage Staff phase, she'll call down 4 meteors to each corner of the room, each of which has its own fire or ice element to it. I got marked with ice in this particular time, so I'm gonna stand near one of the fire meteors and wait for it to explode. Frickin' ouch. For her next weapon, she summons the Archer's Bow. We'll need to find her butt for this one, because her AoE attack with this hits pretty much everything in front of her. After that, she's going to cast Flames of Bosjo, which forces the whole raid over to one edge of the room. The flames will instantly kill you, so best not get caught in it. Once we're pinned to one side, she's going to hit us with another hot and cold, then fire elemental arrows to the opposite side of the room. Choo! Oh, see those routes that appeared in the flames? The arrows are going to line up with those paths and briefly show where they're going to head towards us. I think this is the hardest mechanic of the fight, honestly, because you first got to find the arrow that you need to get hit by, and hopefully you didn't miss the route that it's going to take in the process. The one thing that helped me the most for this is that the arrows never fly straight, they will always zigzag at least once. So even if I missed the exact route the arrow was going to take, I knew a few spots where it wasn't going to end up, so I could kind of backtrack from there. Once we're back in balance, the flames burn out, the fight continues. Her final weapon phase features the Paladin's Sword and Shield. This time she wants us right in front of her, so she's gonna do a big sweeping arc behind her. She of course will cast Hot and Cold again. And this time she's gonna cast Blades of Entropy. Now if the damn combat text would stay out of the way, you'll see her hold up her blade and charge a fire or ice slash that will hit an entire half of the room. She's tricked me a few times on this one, because sometimes the thermometer marker covers her blade and it tricked me into thinking the attack was coming from the wrong side. It's not too hard, but you definitely got to pay attention to which attack you need to stand in, because she's only going to do each elemental stack once. So she'll keep cycling through those 3 phases until she dies or you die. The only other mechanic to watch out for is this Unseen Eye attack. There are going to be shades of her that show up on the side of the room, there and there. They're going to do linear attacks, and you have to get off the square grids that are getting attacked. Oh, tank buster. So the easiest way I find to dodge that is to just wait on a corner of one of these squares, because then you can just step onto the square that's safe even if you don't see where they appeared. On their own, they're not too hard to dodge, but as the fight goes on, she'll layer these Unseen Eye attacks into her weapon phases, and since you have to take at least one hit from the hot and cold phase each time, it becomes very important to dodge these additional attacks. Well, one more down, one to go. Time to become a Queen Slayer. Cool altar, eh? So I'm not 100% certain, but this, like, the coloring of the room looks very similar to the, like, castle in Final Fantasy V that stored all their Zodiac weapons. So I'm not sure if they're referencing that or not, but it's here, let's look around. It's pretty cool, vaulted ceiling leading to that tree trove over there. Yeah, there's the queen thing. I don't know, the mech thing looks weird to me. I don't get it. Like, it has its arms in the front, legs in the back. What are you doing? I mean, like, look, it has like legs up here, arms down here, has like drilling limbs, and yet it decides to just smack the tank with its trumpet. Like... Anyways, let's get to the fun. She's gonna be spinning those Save the Queen blades around a lot, doing raid-wide AoEs and tank busters, just like every freaking boss does. But then the field changes. And they're not even gonna pretend here, we gotta play chess against the queen. She'll place 2 of her guard buddies down and assign them numbers. They will move straight that many spaces and then do a cross AoE. There won't be enough time to get out of the way once they've moved, so I have to figure out the safe spaces in advance. Psst, it's either going to be her space or one space adjacent to her front or back. I know it looks like a lot, but it's not. Next, she'll do her North Swing Glow attack. 3 red dots appear on the field, and they are going to start drawing lines. When those lines intersect, there's going to be a big AoE attack. I just run along the parallel lines away from the third line. Finally, geometry became useful. Gonna have to move fast after that though. Her Heaven's Wrath cuts a blue line across the room that will explode with a pushback. I think she cheats when she puts it behind her. With all the blue light effects around her and the blue death realm circling her, when she cuts that line behind her, you almost can't see it till it's too late. Poor Hyo got tricked there. Don't worry, little bird, I got you. Alright, another round of chess. Same funds to dodge as before, except... Wait, where did she go? Oh god, she's over there. What is she doing? That doesn't look too inviting. Oh, thanks but no thanks. I'll stay over here. Yeah, no thanks. Is she going yellow? Is she gonna go Super Saiyan? Seems like something we should be concerned with. Sweet genius, that hurt. Alright, more chess coming up, but this time she's gonna make us move instead. This is where my Virgo magic makes a lot of sense to me in my head, but I don't know if I can explain it well, but let's give it a try. So we're gonna get marked with a number, and we're gonna have to march for the queen ourselves. But whatever number that is, I think of a specific chess piece and move like it. So if I get a 1, easy enough, I move like a pawn. If I get a 3, I'll move like a knight. And if I get an even number, I'll move like a bishop, because diagonal movements are technically 2 spaces on the board. So here I got marked with a 2, so I hugged the corner of the black space, moved diagonally to the next black space in just a few steps, and I was safe because I technically moved 2 spaces. Basically my goal in doing this is that the less time I spend moving to safety, the more time I can attack the queen while she just sits there. So yay, more DPS! Huh, wonder what they're doing here. Well, you know, okay, let's take a pause and give you some fair warning. So at this point, you've seen all the mechanics that are going to happen in the fight, but unfortunately, a lot of these are going to start stacking on top of each other. Because remember when we fought those Queen's Guards and each one of them had their own unique attack? Well, now they're going to do their stuff with the Queen doing her stuff at the same time, and it's all going to get mixed up. So if you're thinking, wait, oh my god, really? Yep, really. So take a deep breath, and let's take a look. When she has her gunner and warrior guards with her, the gunner's going to go first and do his ricocheting turrets. So remember to move out of the square and mind the last 2 to fire. Bomberman immediately follows up by dropping some bombs, which he may or may not tether to, you have to just watch for that. But while he's doing this, the Queenie's going to do her blue line pushback. So what you gotta do is you gotta note which bomb is safe, survive the pushback, and then beeline to the nearest safe bomb. When she has her knight and soldier with her, the soldier is going to start out with one of his fake gambit circles. So remember to just run to one of the lines. But I gotta keep an eye on the queen, because she's going to warp away into one of the edges and do her dashing ice slash thing. There she goes. So you gotta run to dodge that, and then the knight is going to start one of his omens, so you gotta pay attention to which one he casts and dodge it. Depending on how those things stack up, you might end up running a lot just to dodge all the AoEs. She's also going to start stacking her own mechanics too. She'll do her red line attack again, only this time it'll be on a chessboard, and guards will appear on the edges. So you gotta dodge both the red line explosions and the cross AoEs where they end up. But the one that took me the most time to figure out is when she makes everybody march at the same time. She marks both her guards and you with numbers, and you gotta walk that number of spaces to a location that's safe from the guards. But remember, I got 2 cheats that help. 1, the safe spot from the guards will either be on the queen or the 2 spaces adjacent from her. And second, I move like a chess piece. So I'll use both those cheats and backtrack. So here, the black space in front of the queen was safe from the guards, and I got marked with a 3, so I knew I needed to move like a knight. So I run 3 spaces away, and once the queen says go, I march 3 spaces right back. Alright, enough of this. Limit break business! We did it! That's it! Oh my god, I got enough of them! We did it! Oh yeah, we did it! Yeah. Let's go get our weapons. Okay, so after I completed all that nonsense, I take my gathered items to this Slayton guy, and he, along with Master Drunk Geralt, I mean the Master Blacksmith, they'll forge my blade weapons. Let's check out my Dragoon one first. Okay, and you see the whole length. Blades glory. Shing! Yeah, pretty sweet. I admit I'm not the huge fan of it being purple, but it's still pretty cool. Now let's go to my red mage. Alright, let's see it. Holy crap. Doesn't even look like a blade. Looks like a lightsaber. Blades temperance. Oh yeah! Seriously, it looks like a freaking lightsaber. Alright, let's see. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep this blades look for a while. I wonder if I can find some like dark hooded glamour so I can walk around like a Sith Lord. Alright, there you have it. That was my walkthrough of Delubrum Reginae. It is one of the 3 major chunks to this whole relic weapon series in Shadowbringers. Overall, I think they made something really cool with this Bosgen front campaign. And all the boss fights that they added were really interesting and fun once you got the hang of them. Doing Delubrum so many times really helped me fine-tune how to play as a red mage. Like, I was able to throw out instant cast raises so quickly in my last few runs, I might as well have been a red field medic. Which was a good thing, because there were a lot of deaths along the way. Like, a lot of deaths. No joke, I got this achievement for raising so many people on the Bosgen front. I needed over 500 people to do that. Good lord. Anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed my playthrough of Delubrum Reginae. I'd love to hear feedback in the comments on what you thought of this video. I would definitely try to do more if people enjoyed watching it. Anyway, thanks for watching Virgo Magic, and this is JHaubz signing out. Alright, so I'm gonna do this thing. Whoa, yeah, man! Oh, you're my shot! You son of a b****. Get out of my shot! Oh, now I have to do that again. Go away! Shoo! There, okay. Go away! Shoo! I have 136 minutes and I'm not doing anything until you leave! Got my shot! Alright, alright.